My name is Jodi Showalter. My husband Garth is the really cool sound dude up in the sound booth. We've been coming to Hope for about 10 or 11 years. And throughout that whole time, the church has really been praying for me because for literally years, because I have had such poor health with numerous hospital stays. And my health is kind of a mystery to doctors. I've got high blood pressure spikes that are uncontrollable and migraines, and those turned into seizures, and I've even been in a couple of comas. So I've been in the hospital for weeks at a time, and people have been praying for me and have been meeting our needs mentally and spiritually and emotionally and physically. And we just wanted to give an update.
My name is Garth Showalter, and I'm the husband of Jodi Showalter. And we've been married for about 19 years, and she's been really struggling with illnesses through 13 or 14 of those years. And it's been very difficult at certain times, and especially during the past 3 or 4 years, it's been very difficult. She has been dealing with chronic pain, and she has been going to doctors that have been prescribing her narcotics to deal with those pain issues. But at the same time, the pills are a double-edged sword. And so the more you take, the more the pain comes back, and the pills cause their own kind of complications. And it was causing a kind of vicious cycle.
They put me on pain medication 5 years ago. And with narcotics, the longer you take them, the more you need. And the more you need, the worse you feel. And I got completely out of control on medications. I was in my room, not leaving my room for weeks at a time, in my cave with the blinds shut and just waiting to die. I was going through hundreds of narcotics every month. And I just stayed numb for 5 years. I wasn't a wife, I wasn't a mother, I wasn't a person. I really struggled with depression. Actually, I didn't struggle with it. It took over. There was no struggle involved. And narcotics and depression go hand in hand. It made me stop having the will to live.
When you're in the husband position of that, it's difficult because you know that she's under the care of professionals, but at the same time you see some of the self-destructive things, and you want to make yourself available to her of how to get out of that. And I can remember having discussions with her about saying that, Jodi, if you don't stop, you're going to die. And she didn't want to hear that at that point in time. She was just like, I just don't want to talk about it. But being as her husband, you are responsible to making sure she understands that if she does not turn and stop, she is going to die. And she needs to make up in her own mind whether she's going to live or whether she's going to die. And you have to let her make her own choice. You have to completely lose your own agenda and say, look, Father, my life is in your hands. Everything that I have is yours. I no longer am pursuing what would make me happy or what I see would make me happy right now. But I trust you in the long term because I'm here for eternity. I cash in my chips when I die, basically. And so I can serve and be there for her. And if she decides that she's going to turn, I am there for her, and I give her every opportunity to open her eyes and to see what her behavior is doing.
After coming out of the hospital, since our medical bills have just accrued from all the times I've been in the hospital, I thought that my life insurance policy would be a lot better for the family than I would be. So I got in the car, and very selfishly, and thankfully there was nobody on the road, nobody. And I just pictured my kids over my casket, and that's what made me drive home. You know, picturing my 15-year-old in his suit and being so angry with me and how selfish that was as a mom. And I came back home, and that was the last time I took a pill. And that was 14 weeks ago, one day and some hours. Not that I'm counting.
And so finally she stopped and she turned. And it's been wonderful in the past 13, 14 weeks. It's been a completely changed experience.
I was expecting to be in hurt for being on the pain medication for 5 years, you know? I had sweaty palms. That was it. That's all I have. So for 14 weeks, I've had no withdrawal symptoms. So it's a God thing. My blood pressure is normal. My cholesterol even cut in half. So it's all been taken care of. I'm a whole new person, and I'm a member of society, and I'm a mother, and I have my husband back, and he has his wife back. I'm a 360, not 360, 180. You know, I'm a completely different person. And for the families that are going through that situation with that person, don't give up. Don't let them, even if it takes years, don't give up. That's what Garth did with me. You know, he could have very well have left. We've been married 20 years, and he could have very well have said, forget it. But he made a commitment, and he said, I'm not going to give up. You may want to die, but I'm not ready for you to die.
Basically, when you're living with somebody that's struggling to make sense of their life and to deal with a lot of adversity, you have to die to yourself every day. There's always opportunities, if you want to find them, to make your life easier. But you have to choose to ignore those, and you have to choose to serve and choose to stay in the fire. Instead of just moving out of the fire and making it easy for yourself, you have to change your perspective to eternity. And you can afford to give up everything, because nothing is yours anymore. It's all in your Father's hands. You're no longer the judge. And so that if somebody needs you, you are there for them. You are not there for you.
2 Corinthians 5:17 says, if we are in Christ, we are new creations. The old is gone and the new has come. And that old's gone and this new is here.
I think that in my situation, God just gave me a complete sense of peace, and also deferring any type of judgmental attitude to God, of saying, God, I am not capable of judging, but you are, and I give that authority to you. I no longer am judging. And that releases you from any bitterness that may have accumulated over 14 years. And it's just gone. And so it's been a great testimony to God's glory and God's understanding of the long term of the time. We don't see the time. And it's been worth it.